Yo, welcome back to another vlog. I just did one on Fanime weekend, and so if you want to go see that and you want to see all things anime related, I did that weekend. You can find it somewhere on my page. But this video is going to be all about Magic the Gathering and what I did at Commandfest Richmond. And before we get right into that video, I just want to say thank you to everyone that supported this channel so far. I see it where we finally went above 1K subs. And of course, we got a brand new camera courtesy of the one and only Lava Spike. So thank you, Lava Spike, for supporting the channel and of course helping us get this new camera so we can just do more content, more things all the time. I was fortunate enough to be in a position to where I got to be a guest at Commandfest Richmond. So what is that? It's a whole weekend. It's essentially a Magic kind of con like experience. They've got all the artists, they've got tons of guests and just tons of people playing Commander. That's right, Commander is a Magic the Gathering format where it's a 100 card singleton format followed by a general. You pick the general, you can only play spells in that color, and yeah, yada yada yada. You probably know by now if you're watching this video. Star City Games, I've never been out to one of their like East Coast events. I really don't venture off to the East Coast as much as I wish I did, but they were nice enough to fly me out, have me as a guest, and I got to play Commander all weekend. This was my first big Magic Gathering kind of event, so it was really cool. I was just really pumped. I brought all my decks. I spent weeks kind of like making deck lists, fine tuning them. I brought my Lord Xander deck. I brought my Evelyn deck. I brought my Trin and Sylvar, my Anawan Rogues, my Super Friends deck, my Amanatu Super Friends deck. That's like my meanest deck. I was really happy to see that like other Goldfish members were able to go. So like Saffron Olive was another guest there. And then eventually Tomer Budget Commander got added. So, and this was big for me because this is my first time meeting Tomer.
Signed up as an agent. I think I can make this sleeve playable. Give me an hour.
Slightly played. It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you, Tom.
And there was tons of other friends that I hadn't seen. I'd never met any of the SEG crew. I mean, I met them a long time ago, but it just been so long, so it was nice to see them again more than meet them again. So tons of friends just all around. So the weekend starts. I get right into packing, and I see on Twitter that Olivia Gobert Hicks, she's like, oh, my flight's canceled, and it turns out, you know, Olivia is on the same flight as me, so it's like the morning before. My flight originally was supposed to leave at 6 a.m., so I was going to stay up or either go to bed early, and I had planned on going to bed early, but luckily I had read Olivia's tweet right before kind of getting ready for bed. I ended up staying up, and roughly around like midnight my time, Amanda tells me, boom, hey, we got you a like 5:30 flight. So I just said, okay, I'm just not going to bed, and I'm going to waddle right into the airport. Get through the airport, get there, you know, I don't even know how long of a flight it was, but I land in Detroit at some point, and I'm finally walking through, and I hear, hey, Krim, and I look over, it's Daniel Holt from WotC, who's sitting next to Scott Larrabee, and whoa, how did you even notice me? But I'd just forgotten that, like, I am like the one dude in Detroit with like apparently blue hair. My previous weekend, I was at an anime convention. I was actually fitting in and blending in. I had to wake up early, and that's why I went early to bed early last night or the night before. I filmed the Commander Clash podcast, right? We get that done. Now it's the start of the con. But before I do that, I decided I'm going to go to Target. I need to get water for the hotel room because there's none. So I call my Uber, and then so I get there at like Target 11. I check out, I got the water, call my Uber as I'm checking out, right? Because I thought it'd take them a little while to get there. So I set my phone down, right? And I get in my Uber, I got my water, and I realized after they dropped me off at the hotel, I'd gotten in my Uber, and the one thing that didn't get in my Uber with me was my phone. So luckily I had called my Uber, but unluckily my phone was back at Target. So I essentially had to walk like almost like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I finally get there, find my phone. I think nobody wanted to touch my phone because of all the anime stickers on it. But yeah, oh my God, what a hell of a morning. I get to the convention, I roll up around 1:30 or 2 or something like that. It just felt good because now I could finally start my weekend. And it was awesome. I got there a little bit late, but everyone's playing Commander. I'm looking at all the booths. Like everyone's just playing Magic, and they've got like the casual pods and they've got CDH pods, and I'm seeing friends that I haven't seen in forever that are just playing Commander. And you know, there's a pre-release going on because this Baldur's Gate pre-release, and want to say thank you to everyone that's come up to me this weekend or this during the Richmond weekend to have me sign your cards. I cannot tell you how many cards I've signed. Oh my God. So many opposition agents, so many Grixis cards like Nicol Bolas, Blatant Thieveries, and all of that. And I appreciate you all for letting me sign these cards because it means a lot to me, because it tells me that, you know, y'all know what I love and you're actually willing to let me deface your cards. But yes, I signed those cards, and then I find out from Tomer, hey, there's a Baldur's Gate pre-release, so I sign up for it for the 5 o'clock. I opened Elderbrain immediately, and then on top of that, I opened Morphic Pool, which I've been desperately needing. Obviously, I still needed Devourer or Intellect Devourer and more Elderbrains, but I was just happy to open these cards right out the gate. I didn't open Natasha, sadly, the Witch Queen, because I need her for my decks, but I ended up opening the Tamer Dragon, and I won my first pod, I guess. And that was great. And the only downer was that I kind of felt like the tickets in the pre-release weren't all that much, considering that I went to go look at the prize wall, and the prize wall, everything there was like super duper like pricey for how many tickets were being given out. And I think the prize wall, like, I think was fairly costed when it comes to all the things you could get if it were a regular like 60 card like constructed event. I actually ended up talking and chatting with everyone, and I actually miss my second round, so they have to probably reconfigure my pod, which I feel bad, and I had to essentially get dropped from the event because I wasn't able to make it. But it's okay because I got to meet tons of people, and that was super rad. However, that was essentially, so what I ended up doing after that was just playing casual games, like and on-demand games. And I think one of the coolest things was just seeing all y'all and hanging out with y'all and just playing games with you and the community that supported me for so long, or has watched any of my content. And it was hilarious. I saw so many control decks. I saw so many troll decks. I've seen so many, you know, like theft decks and all these other decks. And like, it was the coolest thing seeing people's eyes light up when they show you their favorite deck. I think the biggest thing about Commander is so many people are afraid to play some of their play styles, like their favorite ones, because they're just not liked. Like, Control isn't liked in casual Commander, but I think there's a place for that in casual Commander. You know, opposition agents are fine and whatnot. So it was just really cool to see so many people that are kind of like when it comes to deck playstyles, like misfits on the outliers of like casual Commander, come up to me and you know, just say, hell yeah, dude. So anywho, that was day one. I think it was end of day one. That's when finally I go out and I meet up with friends. I got to finally meet Lua. She's a wonderful human and does tons of content, loves CDH, is known for her Winota stuff. I met up with like Beck, MTG Girl, she's hilarious, and just met up with tons of people. Day one, we stayed out late though. I even went out to a dance club. I don't know how to dance. I'm like the worst dancer of all time. You never ever want to see me dance. Like good Lord. But you know, Lua, friends, everyone was having a blast. I went and checked out like a pop bar or something. No, wait. I'm totally jumping ahead of myself. Oh my God. Before that though, I went and got dinner with Seth, Tomer, Daniel Holt, and Lava Spike, and it was, I might have had some of the worst tapioca pearls of my life. Seth tried bulgogi for the first time, and that was pretty wild. Anywho, so that was what happened before, and then I split off. Then I go meet up with Lua, and we stay out, and we hang out, and then, you know, do all the clubbing, I guess. I hadn't been to a nightclub in forever. And then I walk back, you know, with Lava and CNC, and then we go into the lobby, and that's where everyone's still chilling. Lobby con's going like like just thriving. So that happens, and I hang out. I talk to people for a little bit. It was pretty rad. And then I was like, okay, I'm tired because I've been up since God knows when, right? Day one has been a little stressful considering that I lost my phone for a second. I go to bed. Simple. So begins day two. Day two was rad because that was the day a new episode of Spy Family came out. So CNC comes over and Lava brings over breakfast and all this other stuff. And we're just chilling in my hotel room and we watch anime.
Okay, so before we go onto the floor, of course, I've got to have my breakfast, courtesy of Lava and, of course, you know, Chris over here at CNC. They brought something over because I don't wake up ever early enough to do anything in the morning. But before we start and hit the floor, I got to watch the new episode of Spy Family.
I'm ready to sling some spells.
I just want to lie down.
Crush some nerds. Yeah, I kind of just want to go back to bed.
Party too hard last night.
I'm so full, dude. So I'm going to try to poop out a ton of elder brains.
Met tons of more people, and again, today it's even more packed, and it's so freaking awesome. I think one of the funniest things that happened this whole weekend. So I play against someone who not only darknessed Tomer, I reanimate their Notion Thief, and then I cast Rite of Replication on their Consecrated Sphinx, which, as both of us, the player I copied all their stuff from, both he and I realized, oh, I'm gonna lose the game because I'm gonna draw all my cards. Yes, so I did that, and I keep wandering around after that. I meet more people, I stop by booths. At this point now, I'm looking for random cards. I know that it's often hard to find like Tenacious Underdog and Showcase because no one brings that. Or randomly Vampire Socialite. No one brings those cards. However, I was able to capitalize on the Bitter Blossom from Secret Lair along with a ton of the tokens. That was awesome. Somebody was nice enough to make this, let's see if it even focuses there, this demon token, Sukuna. They drew it, and they drew it on top of Whiteout. And I played lots and lots of Xander. I even played humans, and I think this was probably the best day when it came to games. I played some of the most hilarious games. As I mentioned, the Notion Thief game, and at this point, the hours are blowing by, and day two has just been a blast, right? Just meeting so many people, playing so many games, and having people line up for pods. And then, unfortunately, as you know, all day, like, all things come to an end. So the day ended, and I tried to jam a last-second game in, and it kind of worked. We conceded to a farewell that was, you know, just super solid and devastating to the whole board, but it was awesome to see more people come up to me and tell me like, yeah, you know, like I've added more board wipes even into my aggro decks and it's paid off dividends, so do that. Play more board wipes in your aggro decks. That ends day two on the floor, but you know, that never means that that's the end of the day.
What's the place called? Lily Maze?
Lily Pearl. It's right here.
Lily Maze?
No Pearl, it's right here.
Oh, Lily Pearl. There it is. Found it. So I'm excited. I've been playing a lot of the food in Richmond. This is pretty rad.
We go to this place called Lily Maze, Lily Pearls, and I had some of the best fried Brussels sprouts, lobster, and grits that I've ever had in my life, and it was absolutely delicious. I go out, I have dinner with Brad Nelson and Corey Baumeister, and it's hilarious because Brad is like the competitive player of the year, and you know, so's Corey, and it's just cool to see pros get into Commander. It was just a feel-good feeling, and watching them see the format kind of unfold, like cards like Mana Gorger Hydra, why it's good, Ristic Studies, things like that. And yeah, like we go out to dinner and we're hanging out, and I got to just chill with them, and we were just shooting the shit. It was hilarious. Like we were cracking jokes left and right, and it just felt good. Like it was the gathering part of Magic that we love. And yeah, we go back after that. We finish dinner. I go and have some wine, right? And then we go down to LobbyCon. At this point now, LobbyCon's booming. It's booming so hard, everybody got kicked out of the main lobby and moved to the back lobby because they didn't want a bunch of, I don't know, I guess, gamers screaming, yelling, and playing games all over the place. So at that point, I get my first ever game in with Shivam, and it's funny because Shivam and I have been locals and pretty much neighbors for like all my life, and it took me all the way to like meet him in Richmond to finally get a game. It's me, him, Corey, and Lava Spike, and it's hilarious a game. Like, seriously, Corey had Platinum Angel and was at negative life for a billion years because his deck popped off, and then he just, he dies, and the whole, I end up losing to Shivam, but it was such a fun game. And then I got to play with Rebel, and there was just games going all over the place. There was CDH games and the hotel lobbies. It's just exactly, again, the gathering that you love in Magic. At the end of it all, I think the biggest thing was then I invited CNC and Lava, and we go back to my hotel room and we get some anime and chill in. Now, CNC obviously is trash talking the animes we're trying to watch, and how wild is that? I'm chilling with people that I've met from online, and now they're in my hotel room and we're just watching anime together. How sick is that? That's super dope. So we're chilling, and obviously at this point now the night's winding down and I'm tired, and we've now got to just pretty much get ready for my final day, which is day 3. This is the last day before I have my flight around 2 o'clock or whatever, and oh my god, the first pot of the day I get there is Shivam, Brad Nelson, and a supporter of Goldfish content who had this sweet Esper deck, and it was so cool to play. This was such a stacked pod, and I played my Super Friends deck, and this was my first time getting to play it because it's, a more powerful high-end power pod. Day 3, met more, signed more things, and, said goodbye to all the friends I'd made online, and it was a bittersweet kind of thing because, cons, whatever, it always comes to an end, and this is the worst day when you have to say bye to everybody. And though, I was sad, I missed my dog, so I was excited to go home, and so I call Shivam, because Shivam and I are on the same flight, so we get in my Uber, and dude, it was super crappy. Shivam randomly gets the full pat down, strip, yourself, half of the, TSA shows up, and, I guess that's just the downsides of being brown in America, because good God, it was messed up, because I literally walk through TSA in with all my medals on me, my necklace, and it's just fine. So whatever, right? Shivam handles it well. He's just unfortunately used to this kind of stuff, and we're kind of chuckling and making some jokes at the terrible situation in front of us, right? And while we're there though, we did realize though, after all the crappy things, that dude, I was so used to LAX and he was used to SFO and things like that. We got to the airport way too early. So because Richmond, we got through TSA and everything in 15 minutes. And then, we board our flight. I'm sitting there and, so begins my long flight home. And, I'm excited because I get to see my dogs again. But of course, it never goes smoothly. I get home and TSA, and the Delta, lost my bags. But before they lost my bags, they also, we were stuck at the gate for the gate for 45 minutes because a plane was there and they weren't moving. So we were all just stuck, cramped, and feeling boxed in. And I hated it. But I get off the plane and I'm okay, whatever. I just want to get home. I'm already miserable because I'm at LAX, the worst airport ever. And I'm standing there waiting for my bag. And it turns out TSA lost it. They don't know where it is. And rightfully so, because they probably moved gates. I don't know. They lost it and they're hold on. And I'm they're okay, it's here. It's checked in. I'm now already 45 minutes delayed from, the plane being at the gate. But then you add on another hour and a half to 2 hours waiting for TSA to find my bags. Luckily, they finally find it. And now I can leave LAX. And of course, I have to pay my $100 Uber home, because that's how much it costs to leave LAX. And of course, you've got to take a shuttle to get to the Uber station. It's never easy. LAX is the worst airport of all time. But yeah, pick up my dogs, happy to be home, cuddling them, unpacking, and now we're here. So to wrap it all up, Commandfest Richmond was amazing. I met friends that I hadn't seen online before, and of course, I got to see friends again and just really got to hang out. So another feel-good weekend, and I was just happy for the gathering part of Magic to be back.